Hi everyone, it's great to have you back. This video series is all about how to use a special writing strategy that will help you answer questions about something you have read. Remember last time we looked at the story called Tag at the Park, and we wanted to be sure we had the R part for restate the question, the A part, answer the question, and the C part, cite text evidence. Before we do the same thing with another piece of text, I wanted to show you some different ways that you can start your sentence when you cite text evidence. You can start by writing "the text says," or "the author says," or "in the text." Last time, for our story Tag at the Park, we said, in the text, Kate came up with a good idea to solve a problem, and then we told about that. So if you start by saying "the text says," "the author says," or "in the text," then whoever is reading your answer will see that your evidence comes from the text that you read and you're not just making it up. Okay, now let's look at another piece of text. This one is nonfiction and it's called "No Sunburn," and you can follow along as I read. Do you wear sunscreen when you go outside on a sunny day? Elephants do, but their sunscreen is much different than yours. In order to keep from getting a sunburn, elephants throw sand or mud onto themselves. This blocks the sun from their skin, just like your sunscreen blocks the sun from your skin. Elephants will also protect their young from getting a sunburn by standing over them when they are sleeping. This makes a shady spot for them. Elephants are good at avoiding a sunburn. So that was our story. And here is the question. How are elephants clever animals? Let's see if the answer starts by restating the question. How are elephants clever animals? Elephants are clever animals because they know how to avoid getting a sunburn. Does it restate the question? Yes, it does. Whisper which words are from the question. How are elephants clever animals? Yes, these words. Elephants are clever animals because. So those words are underlined in green because that's our color for the R. So we have the R and we check it off at the bottom. We've restated the question. Is there a correct answer? Elephants are clever animals because they know how to avoid getting a sunburn. Yes, it's very smart of them, clever of them to know how to not get sunburned, so we underline it in pink like the poster and check off that we have the answer. I want to mention that when you write the answer, it's like a big idea and not just a small detail in the text. The details from the text are part of the C for cite text evidence. So when you do the A part, the answer, that should be like a big idea from something that you read. Okay, and now we also have the C poster for cite text evidence. Remember what that means? We have to tell something from the text, from the story, to prove that our answer is right. Let's look back at the story and find a part that shows how they avoid sunburn, since that was our answer. Does this underlined sentence show how they keep from getting sunburned? It says, their sunscreen is much different than yours. No, it doesn't. Does this underlined sentence show how they keep from getting sunburned? It says, elephants throw sand or mud onto themselves. This blocks the sun from their skin. Yes, this shows how they avoid sunburn, and that's pretty clever. So for the C part, for cite text evidence, we can write and follow along the blue part with me. The author says that elephants throw mud and sand on themselves to block the sun from their skin. They also stand over their young to make shade for them. So that has the two pieces of evidence from the text, even better yet. And of course, this part for cite text evidence is underlined blue like the poster. And we can check off the C checkbox at the bottom. Did you notice how we started that sentence from the text? The author says, just like one of the ideas on our sentence starter poster. And now it's time for What's Wrong? It is the same story and question, but see if you can figure out what is wrong with this. How are elephants clever animals? Elephants are clever animals because they throw mud and sand on themselves. The author says they stand over their young to make shade for them. Whisper what you think is wrong. And now whisper yes or no. Did it restate the question? Yes, it did. It says elephants are clever animals. Now whisper yes or no. Did it answer the question correctly? Not exactly. The answer needs to be a big idea and not just a little detail from the text. So it's true that they do throw mud and sand on themselves, but that doesn't tell how or why that is even clever. So this detail should actually be part of the text evidence to tell about being clever and avoiding sunburn, along with that other detail from the text that it said about standing over their babies to shade them. So we put a green check to show it restated the question, a blue check to show the text evidence, but a pink X to show it really didn't answer the question correctly with a big idea. Okay everyone, that's all I have for us today. But before you see the next video lesson, you're going to practice reading a piece of text and answering a question using the R, A, and C. I have 6 stories for you, but you will not do all of them all at once. Their titles are Recess, Neil Armstrong, Kim's Ring, Recycling, Ben, and Little Workers. You will read the text, answer the question using the R, A, and C, and then you'll underline the R part in green and check off the R box, underline your A part in pink or red if you need to and check off the A box, and underline your C part in blue and check off the C box to make sure you have all your parts. And don't forget to use one of our sentence starters for the C part when you cite text evidence. Your teacher will assign these either as an online digital assignment or on paper, and then he or she will check over your work. Bye everyone, I'll see you next time.